Almost across the valley. AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.
Good morning. Hey, welcome to the Saturday Morning CEO Live Something Show. It's great to have you here today.
You got all that energy, I guess, from spin class this morning, maybe, yeah?
5 o'clock spin class and a sleepless night. I love it. It'll get you invigorated.
And a sleepless night.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, no, I take that back. I actually did sleep a little bit between keystrokes, sitting in the chair at the computer.
I don't know how you do it.
If you're following me on Facebook and I wrote anything really weird last night, I apologize.
He's not drunk typing, I promise.
No, I don't drink. Could you imagine if I did? Oh, my gosh. We're talking bad.
Yeah.
They'd have to come up with new laws.
Yeah.
To protect everyone.
I think they got to come up with laws now, and you don't.
Ouch. That hurt both of my feelings. I want
no, not
I'll get over it in a couple of years. It'll be nothing. Hey, listen, we're grateful to have you here this morning. You know, we love having you here each week on the Saturday Morning CEO Radio Show. Just to remind you, there's lots of ways that you can hear us, and we want you to hear them in all of those ways, which is going to require you to go to Europe too, because while you might be hearing us right now on AM 1620 in San Jacinto and Hemet area, we're also on satellite radio in Europe, parts of Africa, and maybe some countries that we don't even know the names of. So if you're in one of those, let us know, and and we'll add you to the list. We're also streaming live right now on smradio.org.
Get it out.
/audio, which will take you right to TuneIn Radio. It broadcasts us all over the internet. And you can watch our smiling faces, and Kobe is actually smiling this morning already. And you can see us either live streamed on smradio.org/YouTube, which is available everywhere, including the International Space Station. Hi, guys. We're waiting for that email. We want to know that you're enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying the sights out the window there. That's us. We're Earth. Hi, we're waving. And or if you live in Riverside County, California, you can watch us on Verizon Fios, Channel 45, thanks Verizon, and Time Warner Cable, Channel 26.105.
Thanks, Time Warner.
Thank you, Time Warner. You got it. I think Time Warner has to buy it from Verizon Fios. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, bad deal. So we got to thank them extra because they're actually paying for it. And I think Verizon's getting it for free. So,
wow.
Did I just tell them that? Oop. Anyway, boy, I'm going to be in trouble. Hey. And a little secret is we're going to be in other parts of the country here, in other cable stations here sometime in the near future.
I'd say in the next, well, I ain't going to say that. In the near future.
In the near future, yeah, because you know I'll make you put a date on it and make you do it.
Yeah. I'm already behind Deadmine on several things.
Book.
Almost there, baby, almost there.
Well, I'm glad that you all tuned in this morning. We've really had some great fun on this show. We've had some great guests, and I think that it's important that we recognize the fact that nobody pays us to be on the show. We don't pay them to be on the show. We're a nonprofit organization, the Saturday Morning Foundation, and our mission is to help, to encourage, or educate and inspire entrepreneurs and business folks like yourself, to help improve your local economy in your own community. And we do that through radio and TV and seminars for at-risk youth and others who are wanting to become entrepreneurs. So all of the guests give of their time and their knowledge just to help every one of us. So we love that.
It's all about helping each other and making sure that we lend a hand to show people the way that maybe don't know the way.
Right. And some of you out there are you've been in a job for a long time, and maybe you got on unemployment, and unemployment benefits ran out, and if you're lucky, you got something left in some 401k, or maybe some uncle that's going to loan you some money, and you're going to start a business, and you have no clue what to do. Well, we're here for you, and that's why we have this show, so that we can share some of the secrets that other people have from the lessons that they've learned over the years. Both Kobe and I are business folks. I'm a little older business folk, and
just a little bit.
A little.
Hey, don't let the nice looks fool you.
I hear you. I hear you. We don't know whether you have gray hair or not.
Oh, I got some.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Some right here.
All right.
I shaved a lot of it off this morning.
We've got a guest who's coming in today that'll be in here in just a little while. That's going to give us kind of a new way to look at things too. A lot of folks that we've had in are business people. They're running their own businesses, and today we have Mr. Andre English, who looks at business from a different point of view. He's been an employee with the same company for I think over 20 years, but he works with businesses and helps to provide some staffing for them. So it's kind of a perfect thing, because if you've been an employee and you're wanting to start a business, you would be wanting to observe. Bless you, buddy.
Excuse me.
No problem. Hey, it's been windy up here. They closed the school down. I'm squirreling. I'm diverting to something else.
No worries. You can divert to my head. That's why I'm sneezing, because there's no hair here.
That's what it is. You're getting cold, man. You got to wear your beanie on.
On the air?
On the air, yeah.
Not a chance. Not a chance on the air.
So anyway, there's some wind. We record here our radio show and then the TV show in another studio in another building at the Mount San Jacinto College, and they closed the college down the last 2 days because of wind. That's incredible. So it was pretty windy. I did a lot of driving around, and in fact, I actually noticed a semi truck that was flipped on its side on the side of the freeway. So there was nobody in it, and so whoever it was got out and all that. But that's some heavy wind to flip a semi over. Yeah,
it's been quite turbulent lately.
Yeah, so we're glad to be here with the school with the Eagle Radio Network and Eagle Vision for the television show, and we're glad to be in here today after it's been closed down. I noticed some leaves under the door and all that, so it was blowing pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Andre English is going to be here in a little bit, and because he has helped to staff companies, he's got some great ideas for those of you that are running businesses that maybe you can't afford to bring on people full-time right now. Maybe you can't do any benefits yet or anything, but you do need some help. So you've got a transition period that you're going to work with. And maybe you're the person that's going to transition, right?
Yeah, maybe you're going to transition and you need some extra cash and you don't want to put full-time into a regular, 40-hour-a-week job, and you just need ends to meet from here to here. So there's going to be some options for both sides of the coin.
Yeah. So he'll be in here a little bit. And in the meantime, though, we want to share some of the advice that we have for you. We're always asking our guests advice. Today we've got a nice opportunity to share some tips and ideas with you that we've learned over the years. And I just want to kick it off, if you don't mind.
Oh, please kick it off.
Okay. So kick it off with the idea that when you go to start a business, there's a lot of times, and these are mistakes I've made. So the best way to learn is by failing and then getting up. And as you get up, if you pay attention to what's going on around you, you've learned some lessons.
Those who fail to succeed. I just made that.
Ooh, I like that. Better write that down and give yourself credit. If you fail to fail, then you fail to succeed.
Yeah.
That is good. That is good. And we'll give a shout out and a quote from one of our favorite guests here, Mr. Larry Broughton. Thank you. I was giving you that.
I got your back, Broughton.
Yeah. Sorry, Larry. One of his quotes is that failure is not just for losers anymore, and it's very true. We need to fail, and so one of the lessons I want to share with you is that when you start up a business, a lot of times we'll take take time, especially when we're young at it, making sure the letterhead is just right, making sure that all the business cards look just right. Make sure that you buy the right kind of tablecloth for your little welcome intro that you're going to invite people to, or whatever it may be. It seems like you're just putting out money, and those businesses may or may not make it. So my suggestion to you, one of the big ideas that has really helped me a lot, is don't worry so much about that stuff. Just start trying to get customers. And, if they don't, not everybody's going to buy from you right away, so you just kind of start working with people. Start letting people know what you're doing. Today's economy is so different. I should say the tools that are available to us are so different. You've got things like Kickstarter out there, all kinds of crowdfunding that you can actually do some pre-sales for your product or service and bring in some income that way.
The internet has opened it up for a lot of those kind of avenues where, when I was growing up, and I'm sure when you were growing up, since you're my senior.
Yeah, we used to ride our horse to school.
They just have a lot of tools and a lot of things that just weren't available to us. So I think it's a matter of how you see things, keeping an open mind about what you're doing, and being able to look at your life from the outside in and saying, okay, this has been going on for a while, I need to make some changes or some adjustments, adjusting the sales a little bit, and figuring out if there's more for you out there. And if there is, man, and you start looking, you'll find people everywhere that are in every nook and cranny and corner to help you reach whatever goals that you're looking for. But you have to be tuned to look.
I answered some questions for a student of mine that went through my entrepreneurship seminar, and I'm actually going to look those up right now because he asked some really good questions. Let me find him on here. And I won't say his last name, but Patrick. I'll give you a shout out here, Patrick, in case you're listening this morning.
Oh, he's listening.
Yeah, he's listening. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read my read some of the questions that he asked and what some of my answers were. So this is from someone. Patrick actually he's probably early 20s, and he has a small video company. He's done some work for a church in his area where he's done some of the video work for them, and so he's trying to get his business up and running. And let's see here. Hang on. I apologize, but I am trying to open this up here to read it.
It's this new technology,
Oh, stop. Yeah, I know. Here's just his questions. I know what my answers were. So, all right. So here's some of the things he asked that I thought were pretty good. And let's talk about these, Kobe.
Let's do it.
And thank you, Patrick, for these questions.
You can test some of the questions out on me.
Okay. All right. So let's try that.
Answers.
This one. Let's see. What are the biggest obstacles that you had to becoming an entrepreneur?
Determining what I wanted to do.
Very good.
That was the biggest obstacle, is actually determining what it was that I wanted to do. And I went through a couple of things, and one of the things I suggest is to find somebody that's doing something that you want to do, or something that you love to do, and be mentored by them. But when I say be mentored by them, be coachable.
Right.
Let them coach you to the success that you're willing to go to.
That's a good thing. There's another good question here. How do you come up? And this goes right along with what you said was the biggest obstacle. How did you come up with your business idea? So I'm going to answer this one real quick.
Yeah.
I like to see this as like a bunch of guys out on a fishing boat, and one guy hollers, "Man, the cheese is working. The cheese is working. They're biting like crazy." What's everybody do then? They start putting cheese on their hook, right?
Right.
And
they do what's successful.
That's right. Exactly. So how do you come up with your business idea? Sometimes you got to just put something on the hook and see if people are biting, right?
Yeah, you just got to get out there and try it, and most importantly, not be afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail, then you're not gonna go through the lessons that you need to go through in order to be successful.
So here's a good follow-up question to that.
Go for it.
How did you know it was a good idea?
I would say gut feeling or results.
Results. I agree with results.
From the results that you get, if you're getting positive, good results, it's making you a better person. It's putting some cash flow into your pocket.
Cash flow, results, cash flow.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I think those are ways that you can gauge it.
I agree. Unless your product is a non-profit service or something, then it may not be profit you're looking for, but you're looking for the feel good that happens when you actually do the things that your mission asks you to do.
That brings me to recognizing the potential of what you could receive, whether it's money, whether it's gratification, regardless, whatever it is, whatever moves you, that's what you need to look for.
Right. So here's another question for you. What, if any, problems did you encounter raising enough capital or money for your business? Now this can really vary depending on what kind of business you're trying to open.
It can vary. I did a direct sales company, so the overhead was a little bit lower. But,
a lot lower, yeah.
Yeah, but I also, some people can mistake that, though, and not treat it like a real business.
Right.
So, but what I did was I saved up the necessary money that I needed to come in the proper way, to invest the proper way for the maximum return.
I think that's important to talk about too. I've run both for-profit, non-profit, both corporations and sole proprietorships, and when it comes to raising money for your business, usually the biggest problem I find is my own stinking thinking, as Zig Ziglar would say, that keeps me from making things happen.
Your voice is the most important voice that you should listen to, and if you got what you just said, stinking thinking.
Yep.
That's what I think, in my opinion, you have to change first.
Right. No, I agree, and that's the biggest obstacle there. So, hey, listen, we're gonna take a break here, and we're gonna come back in just a little bit and give our sponsors a chance to say hello to you. When we come back, though, we'll see if our guest is here yet. If not, we've got a couple other really good questions here that Patrick had, and Patrick, you didn't know we were going to talk about you on the air today. But we better have him sign some kind of release or something. We just mentioned his name. And we're going to give out...
We didn't mention his last name.
Yeah, no. When we come back, we'll give you Patrick's home phone number, his cell phone number, and his credit card number.
We like those.
Hey, we'll be right back after these quick messages.
You must be your fairy godmother.
Cinderella's dream comes true because the glass slipper fits.
It fits.
In our world, the right fit can be just as important, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose a car seat that's the right fit for your child's age and size to make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely every time.
How dear. Thank you.
For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. This message has been brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning CEO Radio Show, where we give you tips and advice on how to improve your life, mindset, entrepreneurship, and things of that nature. So just to go back to what we were talking about, we were just going over some questions that Dennis had on his phone. He just stepped out right now, where, he had a student ask him questions as far as entrepreneurship questions. I actually want to bring some things. You got to determine what you want to do. Determine what you want to do. It could be working for somebody. I work for a corporation, several corporations, but I was in the corporate environment for about 20 plus years, and loved the environment, loved being an employee, but I discovered being an entrepreneur and wish I had my mindset open a while ago to experience what I'm experiencing now as a business owner. Dennis, you're back?
I'm back.
Okay. And, the experience has been incredible. I give my time back. I give make my own rules. I still have to work. That's what the myth is about owning your own business, is you get to be the boss and do what you want. Well, I always ask myself the question, if I was my own boss, would I be firing myself for the productivity that I did this week?
Woo, that's a good question. I like that.
So you gotta hold yourself accountable, or have an accountability partner. Could be a wife, a spouse, a best friend, a business partner, a mentor. I consider Dennis here a mentor for me. He teaches me a lot.
And there'll be something nice in your Christmas card this year for saying something nice like that about me.
Yeah, well, I'm tired of hurting both your feelings. I don't think you have any more feelings left. So, but it's just a matter of surrounding yourself around the right people, getting your ideas together,
right, and
going forward and doing what's in your heart.
Now, let me add something to what you were saying too. Is you mentioned, it could be your spouse, it could be somebody else, in the family or friends, mentors. Yeah, do me a favor and qualify who's going to be your mentor. If your Uncle Bob is going to be your mentor, well then do it. Let him be your mentor because he's run the kind of business that you want to run.
I was going to say
you respect him and he's never run a business before.
Right. I was going to say there's a thin line, because we surround ourselves around people who influence us, and that maybe not doing anything with their life, or we'll go to them and ask them questions. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this business, and
you better not. A business. Ooh.
And it's the least qualified person in your circle to be able to give you some advice on actually stepping out to do that.
Yeah.
And we do that a lot. I did that a lot up into my 40s, and then I started listening to other people.
Yeah.
And my life started to change.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But that's the thing, is you gotta know the source. You gotta know the source. That's so important. I work as a business coach, and so I work with a lot of different business owners, and some of them have had other coaches before, and they see a difference when I work with them and they're actually seeing that I've been there, done that, and can give them some really good advice that's going to get them through. I'm not always saying, "Oh, you're doing a wonderful job." Sometimes I'm saying, "What the heck are you doing?" And they're paying me money, and I'm insulting them in a nice way.
I think it's important for you to have a mentor that's going to be honest with you. I think it's important to have a mentor that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But the most important part of that whole scenario is you being coachable and being able to receive the negative feedback, if there is any, and turn it and put it into a positive without attacking the person that's mentoring you.
Yeah, I agree, and that's that's something to make sure that you pick your mentors out of people who your mentor should be somebody that doesn't have a problem telling you constructive criticism. You need that, and they have to have that background to know that that they aren't just chewing you out or giving you a hard time. They've done it themselves. You can tell. You don't ask a plumber how to fix your light switches.
Right.
You ask an electrician.
It just doesn't compute. So, and but the most part of the most important part of the whole scenario though is you.
Yeah.
It's you have the choice to respond and react however you see fit.
Right.
You have a choice. So, you can continue to do the same things and get the same things out of life, or you can challenge yourself by getting a mentor or just challenging yourself and doing things a little bit differently and expecting a whole different outcome, even just little steps, little changes.
True. Hey, let's get another question here from Patrick.
Let's go.
He asked about marketing. He said, what marketing approaches do you think work the best? So he's talking to me about my business.
Mm-hmm.
What worked the best and why? And, of course, there's a lot of variation here depending on the type of business that you're running. But what are some of your thoughts on what, how to market something?
People follow people. People follow people. I think you should be yourself.
Yep.
Build relationships with the people you want to do business with. Sometimes that's difficult if you're not around people on a regular basis. But I think business should be, if you're running your own business, especially if you're doing sales or anything of that sort or nature where you're having to interact with other people, I think that you should definitely build relationships constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, networking is such a big part of marketing and making sure that you do have those relationships. It's I know the folks that pay me to be their coach, I've got such a vast network of contacts that I've developed over the years that I can bring that in. And I'm not trying to sales pitch myself. I'm just saying that that's something you need to look for in a mentor is, do they really have a network of people? If your business coach had just moved to your town from another state and is trying to get reestablished, they probably don't have a network there locally. Just kind of put two and two together, and you want to get somebody that's really going to be worth your investment to help you out with what you're trying to do. So marketing totally depends on the business, and I think that's important to pay attention to.
Yeah, it does depend heavily on what type of business that you're involved with and how you go about marketing that plan too as well. So
yeah. So for instance, newspapers right now they're failing. They're trying to buy each other out and consolidate and do some things like that. And so a lot of people are not advertising in them anymore because most people are looking at news online and everything. However, there are some things like coupons for restaurants are still doing okay in the newspapers. Yes, you can get them on an app now, and there are new and better ways, but it's an area that's still hanging on and working there. So if you're in that business and you wanted to do some coupons, especially if you live in, we've got we both live in Menifee, and there's a retirement area there, and a lot of people still read the paper there.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
market.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that still, are using the paper. They don't like the internet. Maybe they're not familiar with computers or don't want to be familiar with computers. There's still a lot of people like that. So I think it's still servicing a lot of people, even though the majority has moved over to the internet.
Yeah, I think so. So know your market, and make sure to put in the time that you need to do a feasibility study. So before you start marketing, this is really important. It's not like, I think every 2 or 3 year old has a picture taken of them in a high chair throwing spaghetti against the wall, right?
Could be spaghetti, Oreos, ice cream, whatever.
Anything.
Yeah.
You just toss it on the wall. Spaghetti works really well because some of it will stick on the wall.
Yeah.
And it takes forever. If you let it dry on there, just a little safety tip for you, or a designer tip for you, wipe it down quick. That sauce will stain.
Is that from experience, Dennis?
I'm not saying. Anyway, so we don't treat marketing like 2 and 3 year olds treat spaghetti. You don't just throw it out there to the public. You need to narrow down your market and know who you're going to be advertising to. For instance, with us, with our radio and television ads, the sponsorship ads, we market those sponsorships to businesses that are looking for people like you out there, that are running a business or trying to be upwardly mobile, and so it's not for everybody. I mean, there's businesses that we say, no, we think it would be a waste of your money to advertise on our program because it's not going to hit your target market. And it's important to know that. Otherwise, you're going to be throwing money away. And you'll learn it the hard way when you're like, hey, I'm out of money. Another thing that happens that is really important is that when you do market, that you track and make sure that you know where people are coming from. This is a huge deal. And in fact, it's so huge that I'm going to say it again. You got to track where people are coming from. If you're old enough, if you're an old fogey like me, I'm 51, you will remember a lot of the direct mail that used to come, and you would send it back, or even on television, they'd say, hey, send $10 now, and we'll send you this whatever book or something, and send it to, or get some free information, send it to ABC Company, P.O. Box 15274, Hollywood, California, whatever. There's no P.O. boxes there. It goes to their main office. What the P.O. box is a tracking device to know what zip code they advertised that in or what TV station they advertised it on. And then they would track those, and they say, okay, we got so many orders from P.O. box number whatever, which was the code for that particular marketing they did. They still do it online. You don't even see it, but it's written in the URLs. When you click on a link, it knows where you're coming from, and it keeps track of that. So it knows, like, if it's getting a lot of business from the apps that are out there that they just put out or something, rather than from Yelp or from the Yellow Pages or something, then they're going to go, wow, we got to put more money into the app. It's producing. But you don't know that if you're advertising in 10 different places and your customer load is going up, because you're going to want it to go up more still. So you have to track it. That's a really important part of marketing, is to know where your people are coming from. If you got a pie shop and they're coming in and buying pies, make sure whoever's at the cash register asks, how'd you hear about us? Or a pie shop, they might have just smelled about them rather than heard about them. I smelled something cooking in the oven. I walked in. And in fact, I'm joking, but there's some restaurants that purposely put some blowers and try to direct their smoke out of their out of the pipe, their exhaust, so that it'll head back down to the street, so it'll try to loop around and people will smell that there's food cooking. So there's a lot of marketing that you don't think of as marketing, redirecting the smoke. Boy Scouts, they used to call that the left-handed smoke shifter or something, right? You go ask another camp to borrow, but anyway, that's another story. So that's part of marketing.
Yeah, I think marketing is important. Those are the in-your-face, upfront ways. There's still some subtle ways to market as well, like people deal with people they like and trust. So you got to learn how to become likable so that you can market. And if you're honest and you're genuine with your presentation, then people will feel comfortable and eventually purchase from you.
Yeah, I think that's really important that you build that relationship too. That you can in business. I often do it myself too. You just get into the craft of business, and sometimes you forget about the relationships, and that's important.
I think that's the difference between businesses. Yeah. You could have two excellent businesses right next to each other. The one that has the better relationship or the better customer service or the better customer experience is going to win out those customers every single time, even if their product is not superior.
But I'm going to talk about sales real quick. I'm going to give you a little tip before we go to our next break. And here's the deal I want to tell you. Sales is all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to buy from you if they trust you, they know you. So that means don't always talk about sales.
Right.
One thing I used to do, and it's so much easier to do nowadays with the internet, but in the day, this was pre-internet days when I did sales work, And I was actually selling television commercials for a cable company. Isn't that interesting? Now I'm on a cable TV show.
Selling his own commercials.
Yeah, now somebody else is doing it. No, I'm not any good anymore. But here's what I would do, is I would go through the Sunday paper, and I would look at I'd read all the comics, because, that's all I really knew how to do anyway. Stock market and all that stuff's too scary. So I'd read the comics. At any time, any of the comic strips had something to do with a business of any kind, even if it was just slightly. I would take the scissors, I would cut it out, I'd lay it on a copy machine, and I'd make a few copies of it, and I would put it in a folder that was labeled with that industry. I had a big file of comic strips. Now, it was important that I didn't just put the comic strip in there, that I made a copy of it, because now it's on a page that had some white space around it. So when I would go out to visit my clients, and they weren't there, and the employee is there, hey, can you tell Bob I was here? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, they're not telling Bob. That's not happening. I forgot to tell you he came in. They don't care. But if you hand them, and you say, oh, he's not here, or if they are there, that's fine. Give Bob the comic strip and laugh together. But if he's not, write a little note in the white space and say, hey, I saw this.
For the California Dental Association, Christy Yamaguchi.
We're on break.
Okay, I'll tell you when we get back.
I know the importance of having healthy teeth and a bright, healthy smile. Tooth decay is the #1 childhood disease, more than asthma and obesity. That's why a new state law requires that kindergartners receive a dental checkup. So parents, prepare your children for school. Take your child to see a dentist. It'll make you smile too.
For more information, call 800-CDA-SMILE.
You suffer from the heartbreak of brain rot, feeling bored, sluggish, listless, not had a new idea in days, using electronic gizmos without a clue why they work? Now there's help. Ham radio, guaranteed to stimulate your corroding neurons and open a whole new world of excitement. To learn more about ham radio, go to hellradio.org.
Side effects of ham radio usage include mental stimulation, desire for education, new career paths, understanding of technology, and cases of addiction have been reported. If you experience any of these symptoms, you're welcome.
Ham radio. It's not your granddaddy's radio anymore.
They were outnumbered, out-equipped. They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage: General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
Hey, you should know some of Saturday Morning Radio's secrets to success. We chose Branding Group to design and host our website because they fulfill web design with integrity. They've had clients like Crocs Shoes, Ford, and Chrysler. They're the real deal. Alex and his full-time programmers are easy to work with. After our free site analysis, they helped us with mobile applications for iPhone and Android. Find them at smradio.org/web. They are a proud sponsor of the Saturday Morning Foundation.
It's like FM without the commercials. It's like XM without the quality. It's AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.
Hey, welcome back.
I was gonna say you think we're at a restaurant and Dennis is with his whole family because he's on his electronic device.
Cell phone, yeah. Hey, am I allowed to be on the radio without my headphones on? Because I can't hear anything. This is terrible.
You're not allowed.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm official now. I got my headset on. So we were talking about marketing and sales, and
the break crept up on us because I actually got into your story. Now this has happened to us twice now in the last couple of months.
I know, and we didn't even have Nathan Osmond on the show. Oh, did I say Nathan? Sorry, buddy. I love you, man. He kept talking through a commercial one time. I'm going to razz him on that forever.
Oh yeah,
you remember that? I was like, Nathan, hey, Nathan. Okay.
You were just as guilty.
I was. Today was my day. I was Nathan today.
Yeah, Nathan, Tom Ziegler, and it's most of you guys on the TV show that.
I see. Yeah, that's the problem with if you're not nervous enough, you just kind of could care less. You got to still be nervous.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what the problem is.
Hey, so what I was talking about? What was I talking about? So the comic strip. Comic strip. Yep.
And the white space.
Yeah, the white space.
I was into it too.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Okay, good. I got to see if I can finish this in 20 minutes here. Kidding.
19.
Okay, guy. So you just write a little note on there. Hey, thought of you. Here's a little a little funny thing for you. And that employee is going to read it, laugh at it, and give it to their boss. So it's just a little side thing. You don't have to do like I did in the old days with scissors and cut it out and copy it and all that. Just pull it off the internet. Just print it off for them. And you can do that before you go running around. You look at all your stops you're going to make and pull something off like that. In other words, do something that has nothing to do with, are you ready to buy my product yet today?
I think that you should make your product or service available to people and give them the option, because people do not like to be sold.
Right.
They like to buy.
Yes.
But they do not like to be sold.
Right. You've got to offer the opportunity for people to buy.
Absolutely.
Now here's an example of that. Except this was free, but I'm going to tell a little story on myself. My wife already knows, so I won't be in trouble because I already am. Oh,
yeah, you always stay in trouble.
Yeah. So
if you're a husband, you stay in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. So my birthday was a week ago or something like that. And I was really good. I had no cake. I went to spin class, and I had people telling me, "It's your birthday. Have some cake. It's not gonna kill you."
I was one of them.
Thank you. Okay. Everybody's telling me, "Live it up. It's your birthday." Even Paul, my trainer, said, "It's your birthday, buddy. Enjoy it. Don't worry about it."
Now, I can't imagine Paul, if you're listening, Paul, I can't imagine him saying that, but okay.
Yeah, well,
I'll take your word for it.
I don't think he said go lay in a vat of Rocky Road, but I think he was saying maybe that I could have some seasoning on my chicken breast or something, maybe.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I made it all day. I was teaching a class that night. And one of my lovely prior students is a manager of an ice cream place locally, and sent me a text message during the class, said, because she knew I was teaching. She said, "Hey, on your way home, stop by for a free ice cream. The girls already know. I already told them." So all she did was offer me the opportunity to partake. That's all she did, and I felt compelled. I had told everybody else no.
Oh, okay.
That it was, like I said, it was free, but I had other stuff offered to me that was free all day long.
So you took her up for that offer at the end of your day?
I did.
And you didn't call me? I want some free ice cream for your birthday.
You, buddy. Next time. I got another birthday coming up next month. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
That's the secret. You just keep changing your birthday on Facebook, and everybody starts saying, "Hey, come on over." Anyway, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. If you do that, though, and it works, give us a call. We want to find out how to do it.
Oh, it works.
I love it. So, in fact, one of my friends has a false birthday on there because they're afraid of indemnity theft. And whatever.
Yeah, you know what? That's I'd say that's
you're gonna say what? Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. You're having the same brain burps that I'm having today.
Yes.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Good. But the point is, when you're making a sale, you're actually just offering the opportunity for people to purchase from you. They want to be the one to make the decision. If you're going to strong arm them, into put them in a wrestling hold, you got to buy this thing because I need it because my kids are going hungry, and you can't give that impression at all that they need to buy to help you.
And I think part of the problem is the sense of urgency a lot of people have when they get a new job or they're an entrepreneur and they need some sales, they get desperate, and that comes across to your customer, and nobody will buy from you. You got to be comfortable. It's not something that happens overnight. You have to build that process. You have to build your downline or build your customer base so that it takes care of you. And sometimes that might take time. I tell people, when you come out for business, 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years to build.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's true. And you have some patience with it.
Yeah. Some people want to build in 2 weeks because they need to pay some bills, and it just doesn't work that way.
Right. Well, and that's one of the tips that we were going to hear from Andre. Andre's kind of stuck in Arizona or something, I think, trying to drive here. So he's still pretty far out, so he's not going to make it in time. But let me tell you just a little bit about what he does. He helps with a temporary agency that places people that just want to work a little bit here and there, or that are looking for a full-time job. And the way that it works is the people are sent out for a job. It might just be for a day, it might be for a week. But then the business, as a business owner, you get an opportunity to get to actually watch people work. It's much better than what I call the boardroom boredom. You can't hire somebody under the boardroom boredom. They're sitting there across the table from you. So tell me, what's your greatest strength? What's your greatest weakness? Who's your hero? And I'm making fun of the questions, so I ask them all too. But that's you. Instead, you know what? Forget this interview. Put some work boots on. Let's go outside. Let's see what you can do. And that's kind of what you get to do with using a temp employee.
And some of those people get hired on full time.
Exactly. And that's what it's like a live reality show interview. They get to actually do it, and you can see them, and you can make a good judgment call then. So even though you may not need a temp employee, you need a full-time employee. That using a few temp employees gives you a chance to check them out. Kick the tires, so to speak, with a relationship. See if it's going to work well for you and that employee.
And then on the flip side of that, if you happen to be an entrepreneur and you run your own business, and sometimes capital can be difficult or tough to come by, and maybe you just need a few extra dollars, and you're not interested in working full time or putting in 40 hours or having another committed job that you have responsibilities with, and you just want to be able to go and help people out for the day and get paid for the day and be done with it.
Yeah, it's good. If you're an entrepreneur, and if you're what we call on this show, we call the unplanned entrepreneur. Yeah, because you're having to do it for the first time in your life. You can't find a job. It can be really, really tough these days in this economy. Then don't just plan on doing your business full time. Do some kind of temporary work. I teach college part time. I actually enjoy it. I love what I'm doing, and I know other college professors that are doing it that also have other either full time jobs or businesses, or they, especially a lot of accounting teachers, that are working part time as accountant to professors. Have a tax business or a bookkeeping business
And Dennis, I actually recommend it. I actually recommend that if you're getting into entrepreneurship, you have something stable and you build your business on the side of that stability so that there's not a lot of pressure coming from that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really important to be able to release some of that stress of, oh my gosh, I got to make, so much money today for these bills or whatever. You have that opportunity then to have some cash flow coming in through some work while you're building up your business.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's honorable.
I called it, making some extra money, without jeopardizing what you're currently doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So that's what we were going to talk about with Andre today, and we're sorry that he couldn't make it in, but I've had some fun sitting here chit-chatting with you, and I think we've shared a lot of great ideas with everybody. It's important that you really focus on really what's important, not what makes you look pretty as a business. Don't worry about those business cards and brochures and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, you're going to work on them, but just get started.
Yeah, I was saying in my organization where I tell my business partners to be horrible and be different. Because if you're
I love
perfect, when you're perfect, you try to get everything perfect. Things don't always go out perfect, but if you just get out there and start doing something and start making some things happen, you'll make a few mistakes along the way, but you'll grow and you'll become successful in the long run.
Yeah, it's kind. I like to think of it from a visual standpoint. Is the gym? You know, you go to the gym. I go to the gym. I mean, I look like it. You'll get there.
I didn't know where he was going with that. I'm like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Make me take my shirt off.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I can't do that. Okay, I'm dealing with an area I have no equipment to deal with. So.
I can't either. I'm just joking around.
So you go to the gym and you look around, look at the people, and compare them as you would compare brand new business entrepreneurs. There's the guys that are in the cutoff jeans and the sneakers that are falling apart and they're working their tail off, and they're going to see stuff happen. They're going to have results. And then there's the people who are all dressed up, all pretty. They probably spent $100 on their latest, the latest style of exercise equipment or exercise clothing, and they really want to look the part. And they're trying not to sweat either, because they're on the treadmill with some brand new headphones that look really cool.
Probably the Beats by Dre.
There you go. Okay, yeah, and they're looking around to see who might be looking at them, and that's the entrepreneur who spent too much money trying to get their business started.
Here's the problem.
Throw your sneakers on. Go barefoot.
Yeah.
Go barefoot on the treadmill.
Here's the problem. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just do what you do.
Yeah. If you love it,
people
will buy from you.
Hey, man, the crazy ones, they say, hey, man, that guy's crazy for doing that. But they'll also, if I become extremely successful, say, hey, man, that guy's crazy. He's got a 22-bedroom home and nobody lives there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of other successful business people, too, that it's funny, the naysayers that say, you can't do that. Nobody's ever done that. And then when you do it, then they say, boy, aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It really has nothing to do with luck, people. Understand it. It is your mindset.
Yeah.
It is how you think. It is who you surround yourself around. And I don't care what you have been going through or been put through in life, 60% of all multi-millionaires are self-made, not very educated. Well, they're very self-educated.
Right.
But they don't have all the credentials that everybody, tends to go out and get. And I'm not dogging that at all or education at all. I think it's very important.
Right.
I think it's very important.
We're broadcasting from a college, too, so, we have to say that.
But I think it's very important. I do.
I agree.
But at the same time, we need to learn how to put the right influences in our life so that we can move forward and not do the same thing every day, live in Groundhog Day, to end up with nothing at the tail end of our life, or not able to go travel or do things or anything like that. I just don't think that that's the way life is meant to be, but I was and we are all on that road, most of us.
I want to quote our good friend Les Brown, and he always says, you got to be hungry.
You got to be hungry, and another thing he says is, jump off the cliff and grow your wings on the way down.
Ooh, I love that one. Yeah.
That's another Les Brown quote that he says. So don't be afraid. Just jump off and do it.
Right.
Because the situation will improve.
Yeah, if you're starting your business out and you just start going and try to find your customers, get your business off the ground, then you actually can get traction going and make it work. If you and if it fails, you didn't invest all that extra money for all the fancy stancy stuff to make you look pretty.
And I'm going to say when it fails, it'll probably fail several times before it becomes successful. Embrace it. Know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Know that you're going to have bad days. Know that being an entrepreneur, you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Up and down all the time.
And you need a coach that can teach you how to give your business CPR when necessary.
Yes. Yes.
It's okay if it dies, but you might be able to bring it back to life with a little bit of mouth-to-mouth. And
as long as you don't let it go too long or burn too many bridges.
That's right. No, I agree with you. Well, my goodness, we've covered some great stuff today. And, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with the at-risk youth, because you've helped me with that too, Kobe.
Yes.
And I want to let some of you out there know, we're always talking to our guests, and today we have an opportunity to kind of let you know what goes on behind the scenes. It's wonderful. We've got a radio show and a TV show, and, we soon, we haven't made any formal announcements, but there are some Facebook pages, so go look for them. We've got 2 new shows that are intended to help local economies and businesses. There's going to be a cooking show coming up called Cooking Off the Vine, where you'll learn how to use local and organic foods for some great recipes.
Delicious recipes.
Yeah, and I can say delicious because I got to eat some of it the other day. You missed out on that one. Did I not invite you? No. Okay.
No, you didn't invite me.
I'm sorry.
You don't invite me for chicken no more. You don't invite me for ice cream on my birthday, and you didn't invite me for eating off the vine.
Oh man, we're
doing what's going on.
We're doing chicken today, buddy. I'm going out on a wing on that one.
Ah.
Anyway, sorry. Oh, we can't use any foul language on the.
Here he goes.
Here, sorry. Okay, so what's going on in the background? We've got the cooking show coming. We've got an awesome yoga show coming called the Yoga Crasher. And Jennifer Sinclair is our yoga instructor, not only for TV, but she's really our yoga instructor.
Yeah, she really is our yoga instructor.
And she's good, but she's going to go crash businesses and find out what their aches and pains are and teach them the things they can do to better themselves and help to make a company stronger and healthier. So we've got all those cool shows coming, but where my heart is with the youth. And we teach at-risk youth and any youth, but we say at-risk because everybody kind of goes, "Oh, really?" Well, let me tell you what at-risk means. I'm publicly telling you, I haven't even reserved the name yet, so one of you might steal it out there, but please don't steal it because I want to write a book called At Risk, What Risk, or something like that. I thought of the name on the way here. That's not it.
It's pretty good. At risk. What risk?
At what risk, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
At risk. Anyway, I forget what it is. Anyway, now I haven't told you the title. Are you going to write it down for me?
I'm going to write it down for you.
Yeah. You're not stealing my title. That's why I didn't tell you the real title anyway. It's not because I forgot. But let me tell you about these youth. Some of these kids that I've been teaching, and we're taking this around the country. In October, we're going up to Davis County, Utah, and organizers putting it all together there. A big 3-day workshop, get people started in their businesses, youth age 16 to 25 starting businesses. Some of these kids have been through prison. Some have been abused. Some are still being abused. And these kids, when their eyes light up and realize that there's a way out, by starting their own business, and I teach them the tools they need, it gives me hope that our country could survive, because these kids have been challenged and overcome, and that's the first part of being a good business person, is being able to overcome challenges. And there's life after a business failure. There's life after any kind of challenge that you have. So these, please go to the website. It's all being done right now by our wonderful but there wouldn't be a place on there that you can make a donation at to get these kids in to the at-risk youth seminars, and I can help them start a business, and I have other speakers that'll come in and be helping these kids too. So if you don't, there's nothing on the website there yet for donation, but send us a little message on Facebook or or stop me in a hallway somewhere if you know me, and help the kids out. We're doing what we can to not only help you and other business people, but we create new business people. We truly want to help our economy, and it's going to come from kids who have been challenged in a tough way and have survived.
And it's pretty common now, with the middle class shrinking. That's pretty common for people to come from, challenging environments because of how our economy is going.
Oh yeah. Hey, we love you. We're going to see you next week. We'll be back again. Aren't we coming back next week?
Oh, I'll be back
every week. Every week.
Channel
45 on Verizon Fios in Riverside County, Time Warner Cable 26.105, and everywhere else. We love you. See you next week.
See you next week.
30,000 kilowatts of power. Broadcasting almost across the valley. AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.